All right, today we're going to be focusing on naming and drawing aldehydes and ketones, which is concept E in your notes. Aldehydes have what is called a carbonyl group, which is a carbon-oxygen double bond. Aldehydes specifically have this group at the end of a chain, so you're either going to see it, on the farthest to the left or the right of the chain. The carbonyl group is on the first primary carbon. Now this is similar to ketones. Ketones, we're going to find this falls in the middle of the chain. Aldehydes is at the end. So the naming of aldehydes, we're simply going to take the alkane name, take off the E, and replace it with Al. And again, we don't need to show a number because it's always going to be falling on the first carbon. So ethanol, Eth means you have two carbons, so you draw your two carbons, including the carbon attached to the oxygen. The Al shows the functional group of the aldehyde, which is placed at the end of the chain. So I just decided to put it on making this my primary carbon. You could also have it on the left, and then filling in the hydrogens the rest of the way. And again, there's no number needed for aldehydes. It would be incorrect to show the one. So just make sure, again, that Al is indicating that you have an aldehyde, so you need to place the carbonyl group with this double bonded oxygen at the end, and then add on the additional hydrogen. So here, you can draw the structure into your notes. We're going to name this. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons, so that gives us the prefix pent. And then because we have an aldehyde with our carbonyl group at the end carbon, we add the Al. So this is just pentanol. Ketones, like I said, also have a carbonyl group. However, instead of it being at the end of the chain, it's in the middle of a chain. So again, this is very similar to aldehydes, so you have to be very careful paying attention to what's attached to that carbon. So here, again, we're going to be taking off for the alkane name, dropping the E on that hydrocarbon, and replacing it with the ending ONE. Because it's somewhere in the middle of a carbon chain, you have to cite the location of that carbonyl group in the carbon chain. So in this structure here, we have 3 carbons, which gives us the prefix prop. We have our carbonyl group in the middle of a chain, which means that it is a ketone, and we also have to cite the fact that it is on the second carbon. So here, ONE is placed because of our ketone, our carbonyl group, and then we need to place the 2 out in front, so 2-propanone. In this one, I've given you the name for us to start with, 3-hexanone. The hex prefix is going to give us 6 carbons. The ONE tells us we have a double bonded oxygen, that carbonyl group, on the 3rd carbon. So I place my double bonded oxygen on the 3rd carbon and then fill in hydrogens for the rest. And that is it for aldehydes and ketones. So just we're adding this on to the functional groups that we've already done, so make sure you pay attention to that table R to better assist you.